All right, are you ready to get singing? Let's do this. So today we're going to be talking about warming up your voice, why we're doing it, and how you can do it. So first, why do we warm up? Well, warming up is just like stretching out your body before you go lift heavy weights or before you go run a marathon or whatever it is you're doing. Warming up your voice is incredibly important. You're just stretching out your voice to get it ready for the heavy lifting that it's going to be doing later. This is incredibly important for your vocal health. Okay, and it just feels a whole lot better like when you're practicing. Then everything will feel so much easier because you prepared your voice for it. Think of a marathon runner. A marathon runner doesn't just get out of bed and goes and runs a marathon without warming up first. They will get cramps in their legs, and trust me, that does not feel good. So we don't want to do that for the voice either, right? I'm not saying that you will get cramps in your vocal cords. No, not really, but your voice might feel stiff and just does not feel good, okay? So warming up doesn't take too long, but it is very important to do. So when we are warming up for singing, we of course need to warm up the voice, but also the rest of our body as well. Some stretches can feel really great, and incorporating that movement, right? Just like we talked about in the previous video, movement. Incorporating that movement and stretching out the body is part of warming up your voice as well. Okay, so make sure your neck is nice and loose. There's no tension here. Okay, you can do some circles. You can stretch out your chest, right? And then forward too, and stretch back. You can, try and reach your toes with your arms. Whatever feels good to you, try it. You really need to get connected to your body, okay? Just like we talked about in the previous lesson. Movement is so important, and we need to stretch out the body to get ready for singing. It is really important that you remember a couple things when you're warming up. You don't want to push for high notes or low notes, okay? Because a warm-up does not help you to improve your singing voice. It only helps you to wake up and stretch out what you already have. It is not here for improvement. It is here for stretching. A warm-up is, okay? So don't feel like you have to go beyond your range. Only do what feels good, and don't be loud. That is really important as well. You don't need to push for volume. We're just gonna take it super easy and super simple, okay? No pushing for volume or high or low notes. Warming up should always feel good. Singing in general should always feel good, but especially warming up should always feel good. So really pay attention to what singing feels like rather than sounds like, because I promise you, if it feels good, it's going to sound good, okay? And if it doesn't feel good, you might be hurting your voice, and we don't want to do that. So now let me show you how to warm up your voice. My warm-ups are a little bit different. If you've already taken some lessons or you've watched a bunch of videos on YouTube or anything like that, my warm-ups are just a little bit different. I don't really like doing scales as a warm-up, like or Ave Maria, or any kind of scale, because then I'm trying to control my voice so much already to create the right pitches. My warm-ups are just a little bit different because I don't want to focus about what I sound like, but rather what singing feels like to me. So I like to start out with a super gentle hum while I'm still in bed before I even start speaking. Just just like that. My range is not big at all when I'm doing this. I'm just staying in the notes that feel comfortable to me. And I do that for like 2 or 5 minutes while, I'm getting out of bed, taking a shower, like whatever. Just getting ready for the day. This really helps me to get my speaking voice ready as well. Not just the singing voice, but the speaking voice as well. Because, as you know, the speaking and the singing voice are the same. Yes, exactly. So this gentle hum in a range that feels super comfortable can really help you with your speaking voice as well. Then moving on to a little bit more singy warm-ups. The first one that I usually do is an NG. So say the word sing, sing, and then you linger on that sound. So the warm-up goes like this. Okay, so I'm just exploring my range. I start somewhat low, I go up, see how high I can go, and then I turn back around, and I'm just exploring my range. So if I do this continuously, it kind of sounds like this. And so on, okay? I'm really just exploring my voice, see what it feels like. I am not going insanely high, I'm not going insanely low, and I'm not being loud, okay? That helps you to keep your voice from falling into your throat. Obviously, your voice is in your throat, like your vocal cords are, so that doesn't really make sense if you think about it. But have you ever felt like your sound being trapped in your throat? That's the feeling that we can avoid by doing because it brings the placement where you're feeling your sound more into the front of your mouth rather than back here. It's also a completely nasal sound. So if I go I close my nose, there is no sound coming out anymore. There's no sound coming out of my mouth, okay? It's all coming out through my nose. So it helps you wake up your nasal cavities, one of your resonators. So after this NG, I like to do what I call the turkey gobble. And stick with me, okay? This is a weird one, but it's gonna be super useful. It goes like this. I know it's weird. I told you it's gonna be weird, but it's fine. It's gonna be just fine. So what do you think that this turkey gobble warm-up helps you with? Well, it helps you to relax the tongue. The tongue is a muscle just like any other muscle in your body, and it holds a lot of tension when we sing usually. So we need to start to release that tension, and if we can move it fast, like that, then that means your tongue is nice and relaxed. If you can't do that and it sounds something like that, then that means you have a lot of tension in your tongue. So do it slowly first. Something like and then speed it up, okay? So start out slow first. That's totally fine if you can't do it right from the get-go. Pitch-wise, you're doing the same as the NG. You're going high and low and everything in between. Then next, we have a lip trill. And a lip trill is this. Now, if you struggle getting that sound, you can hold in your cheeks like this. Or think about pushing your lips forward into like a duck beak, almost not a kissy face, not round, but flat, like that. And then let your lips do the buzzing. Pitch-wise, again, you're doing the same thing. This is more of an airflow exercise, so make sure you're breathing down here, right? Just like you learned. And so on, okay? I can do this for a really long time. You can time yourself to see how long you can do it for, just like we did with the S and the Z exercises, right? Time yourself, see how long you can do this for. Make sure your lip trill is connected and not breathy, meaning connected is this, breathy is this. Do you hear the difference in tone? Make sure your voice isn't breathy, but rather connected. And connected is just the opposite of breathy, right? So currently I am speaking with a connected voice. And if I speak like that, I'm speaking with a breathy voice, okay? So connected, breathy. Make sure it's connected. Now, if you still struggle with the lip trill and you just can't get it, even if you're holding your cheeks or you're pushing your lips forward into a duck beak, that is totally fine. You can do a instead. So you're basically just rolling your R like a Spanish R. You can do that instead. That'll work just as fine, okay? And then the third option that you could do is the raspberry, and that goes like this. So you're sticking your tongue out, basically you're laying it above your lower lip, your bottom lip, and then the air is coming out between your tongue and your bottom lip. And the movement is basically happening in your bottom lip. This one can also be really helpful to relax the root of your tongue. And we will be talking about tension more later, but the root of your tongue is something that can always hold quite a bit of tension, and we want to relax that part. So if you're sticking out your tongue like that, you need to make sure that that buzz is still happening. A lot of times when you get to the higher notes, all of a sudden it's not buzzing anymore, and that tells you that you started to use some tension in your tongue. So just keep practicing this raspberry. It'll help you so much. Then another thing that I really like to do is the PTK or the FSSH that I showed you in the breath support lesson a little bit earlier on. Remember the p, t, k, p, t, k, or this really helps me to wake up my core, to bring awareness to my core that it is there to help me and to use for breath support, okay? So try and incorporate that one into your warm-up as well, or any of the other breath support exercises that I gave you before. For example, the hey, that could be part of your warm-up as well. Then lastly, what I like to do is still these sirens, but now on vowels, like this. And so on, okay? So I like to do it on on literally any vowel you want, okay? There are only 5. I-O. That's it. So try to do these sirens on these vowels as well. Now, if you crack, for example, like this, that is totally okay. The more you do this, the smoother your transition will get and the crack will eventually disappear. Make sure that if that crack is happening, that you're doing it slowly and softly, okay? And we will be talking about these cracks and these sirens in a later lesson as well to help you really smooth out that transition. But for now, when you're just warming up, really just keep it flowing, keep that airflow going, open your mouth, especially on those high notes, you really need to open up. So these are all some really great warm-ups that you can do that don't involve any scales whatsoever. After you've been doing these warm-ups, you can start transitioning into exercises and do, for example, the knee bend, right? To start to introduce some specific pitches into your singing before you go belt or try and sing really high notes, okay? So those would be some great transitioning exercises for you to do. A question that I get a lot is, how long should I be warming up my voice for? Well, that is a really difficult question to answer because that really depends on the person and even on the day. Not every day will feel the same. I have days where I can warm up within 5 minutes and I'm good to go. And I have other days where I've been warming up for 45 minutes and I'm still like, why is my voice not getting warm? It happens, okay? So I would say usually try and stick to like a 10-minute warm-up. That's usually a pretty good range for a warm-up to really start and feel warm in your voice. But basically just listen to your body. If you still need to clear phlegm off of your vocal cords, that might be a good indicator that you might not be done with warming up just yet before you move into any crazy exercises. And just overall, how does your range and your voice feel? If it feels good and you feel properly warmed up, you can move on. There's really no specific answer that I can give you. Just pay attention to your body and see what feels right and what feels good. Over the next couple weeks, you will start to develop your own practice routine, which is really great. Let that routine evolve and change. Do what you gotta do. That is totally fine. You don't need to stick to the same thing every single day. I change up my warm-ups all the time depending on what feels good to my voice, okay? So just pay attention to what it feels like rather than what it sounds like, and you will be good to go.